Um, so I will be giving you a walkthrough of the portal here. So everybody should see my screen share now with the announcement webpage from OSIT here. So I am going to get started here. All right, so there's some instructions here on the webpage that will take you to Amplifund to actually fill out your application here. So please read through the announcement and follow the instructions there. The very first opportunity that you will need to apply for will be the applicant information here. So if you read through here, it'll give you some instructions on that, and then you can actually click this. This will take you directly to Amplifund. I'm just going to do this in another tab so that we can come back here. All right, so this is the landing page at Amplifund. This is where you'll fill out the application. This will be the same for all of the forms that you work through. The place that we are all going to start is applicant information. Each applicant should fill this out once and only once. This will provide us with some information about your organization, and then there will be other links to follow for the opportunities themselves. So we'll get some high-level opportunity details here, as well as the contact email if you have any questions. And then we have some information about the open and close date. So when you're ready to go, you can just click apply, and it will take you to Amplifund's login page here. If you have not been in Amplifund before or have an account with Amplifund, you'll want to go to the register button here. And then you're just going to fill out your email address, create a password, some contact information here. This is what's going to be associated in Amplifund with your notifications. So whatever email you put here is going to be where those are sent to. When you're all done, you'll hit register. There'll be a terms of service to agree to from there. And we're actually going to run back. I already have an account configured to run through this and testing with you all. All right, so once you're signed in or after you've created your account, you should arrive back at the opportunity details page. A couple buttons I want to just share with you all here. At any time, you can download your entire application. This will give you a zip file that has a PDF of everything that you filled out in the application, along with all of the files that you've attached to it. So ready to go, we're going to apply. If your organization has already started an application, you should see that listed here with the name that you entered on the application when applying. For the applicant information, you will only be able to apply once in Amplifund. For the other opportunities, you'll be able to apply once per project area that you select. So here, your organization will only ever be able to have one application. You will only see one. In the other opportunities, there'll be a list here of anything that you've started or submitted. So we're going to go into the one that I have pre-filled here. And this takes us back to the opportunity details page once more. And then we can just save and continue here. Now for the applicant information, there is no need to request a award amount. That will be done in the actual applications for your projects. So here we just ask that you enter 1 penny just to move along through here. And then enter your organization name up in this box here. So this should operate very similar to pre-qual. And you will have to have submitted a pre-qual application to make it into scoring rounds here. So this should likely be familiar. And we can just enter some contact information in here. At the bottom of the page, when you start a form, it will always have an option to mark it as complete. Marking the form as complete is required to be able to submit. So you want to make sure you're doing that at the bottom of each page. If the form's not ready and you need to come back to it, bring someone else in to do more work on it, you can always save the form or save and continue and then come back. So we're going to mark that complete, save and continue. All right, so applicant information, we've broken up into several forms for you. All of the information that you need to enter the application will be accessible through these links. You can just press save and continue to move throughout the application. Most notably that I want to point out to you here is pretty much in every opportunity, you will have an additional information queuing and confidential file upload form. We'll get to that in a moment. But that is the one form in this set of forms that you will see consistently throughout each opportunity that you apply for. So when we hit save and continue here, that will take us to organizational information. We can also click directly on the form. We can see from the navigation bar up here that we are in application forms. There are 8 forms. We can move throughout these different steps by clicking up here. And as we move through the forms, we'll get a status here that will tell us if it's been marked as complete with that button we looked at on the other page, or if the form has not been started or is in a saved state. And again, we can always download the application at any point. At the beginning of the application on the first form, there'll always be some instructions here. These instructions are going to focus on making sure that you're in the correct opportunity for what you intend to apply for. They're also going to give you some information on confidential file uploads and information about marking fields as complete. So for the applicant information, as I said, this should be every organization should complete this one time and only needs to complete it once. So there's some instructions reminding you of that here. Fields that are marked with an asterisk are required. If you press mark as complete and there's a field that's required that has not been filled out, those fields will be marked in red. You'll be able to go back and find those. This is just a reminder here to enter 1 penny on the opportunity details. That will only be applicable to your pre-qual application and this applicant information opportunity. The project-specific opportunities from there will actually expect a grant amount to be entered there. As for confidential file information, if you do run into something that is confidential and needs to be marked as so, please follow these instructions to add it to that last form that we saw with the additional information and confidential information. And please just indicate in the fields that the information belongs to that has been uploaded to the confidential file upload section. All right, so that covers the instructions. The next thing that we have here is this is a download of the application guide. Please click this to download it and then review the guides. And once you have, we just ask that you certify that you've looked at that here. So only needs to be done on this one opportunity. That will cover all opportunities and all branching logic depending on your technology type from there. So you only need to do this once. So we've pre-filled this opportunity to give you an idea of how it will look to run through the whole process and submit. So this is just filler information. This isn't a suggestion to put into any of your fields here. This is just to kind of move along here. There will be branching information or branching questions throughout. So as you run into that, if new fields open up based on your answer, please remember to fill those out as well. They may be required depending on a response to a previous field. The application is split up with numbering with a letter indicating what form the what opportunity form we're working with, a number to indicate the section, and then a following number to indicate the question itself. If you do have a question about a field and you need to communicate that, please use these field numbers. They will be the best way to identify these uniquely. All right, so as an example of branching logic here, if our contact information is the same from pre-qual, we're just going to click yes and continue. If not, we press no. We get a box here to kind of put in some new information. So we're just going to move through here. Some fields will see these narrative boxes. These give you a little more flexibility with your response. You're able to put bold in here, headings, and do some formatting, links, and things like that if you want to organize your response a little more for us. We also have drop-down fields here. So if you see an arrow, you can just drop down and select your field. And I'm unmarking this as complete so that you can see the complete mark as complete button here. And when you open up a form, this will default to not marked as complete. So when you're done and you've checked everything, go ahead and mark that as complete. So now we can save and continue. Every time we press save and continue, we'll take us to the next form. If at any point we want to go back to another form, the easiest way to do that is to come up here to your application forms, click on that, and then you can access a specific form. So we're going to jump back to our second form we were working on. We're just going to kind of move through this quickly. These are all just placeholder fields or placeholder information for the fields. When you run into a file upload, please just upload the file that makes the most sense for you to explain the information that you need to. So Word documents are acceptable, PDFs are acceptable. In some places, Excel might make more sense. And we can actually accept zip files as well through Amplifund. So if there's a need to do a zip file, you may do that. If a question has branching logic, you'll see another letter pop up. That just indicates that it's associated with the prior question, but you are now in a branch of that question. All right, so these will already be marked as complete because we've pre-filled this one. So we're just going to move through here. At some points, you'll see links in the application. This is meant for you to have some additional information. You can click directly on those. Those will open up to the web page. At other places in the application, you may see a template. This is a file that we've uploaded to the application for you to download and work with, much like the guide in the first question. So you can just click this file and it should automatically start a download on your computer and download that file locally for you to open up. All right, so we're just going to breeze through this. Now, this is the last section for additional information, queuing, confidential file upload. We're going to focus on this for a minute specifically because this is on all opportunities, and there will also be some additional instructions down the road. For your first application, you are likely going to be leaving all of these fields blank and just continuing through. But if you do have confidential files, this is where they should go. You'll just select choose file, upload it from your computer. And like I said, just please reference in the fields that was originally asking for the information that this information will be addressed in the confidential file upload, so we know where to look for it. There's no need to use this if you don't need it, but it is there if you do. There are two additional information fields here. These can be completely ignored unless you receive instructions from the grant administrator to use these fields. These will be used if we down the road run into a situation where we need to collect more information from you. But for now, like I said, unless you received instructions directly from OSIT, these fields should be ignored. Finally, last question here is about queuing. If this application returns to you with a queuing request where we ask you to modify some fields, we just ask that you select yes here. For the first time that you're submitting this, the answer is going to be no to this question. You may also leave it blank. It is not a required field. But if you have received this as a queuing request, you're going to select yes as you come back in here to edit everything. We ask that you provide a short narrative description of the changes that you've made to the application, so you can reference the queuing letter that you've received with the requested change, and then just explain what was actually changed in the application. If we do need you to change a file upload that you've attached, we'll ask you to upload that here. All right, so finally we can save and continue. Now, if everything has been done correctly, we're going to get to this page here at the end, which will allow us to submit. If you would like to review the application, you can press this button. This works just like the download. This would download a zip file of your entire application along with all of the attachments. I'm going to jump back to application forms here, and we're purposely going to leave something blank so that I can show you what it will look like if you do miss something. Right, so we can see that field is required. So this field's required, we've left that blank. Now it won't let us mark this as complete. We can still save and continue. So we can save and continue all the way through the application. And now we'll just get a message reminding us to go back to that form, complete those required fields, mark it as complete, and then move on. So if we go back to application forms, we'll now see that this is the only form that's not complete. It says in progress, so we know that's our culprit. We can jump over there, put in some information. mark it as complete, save and continue, and we could actually take a shortcut here by going back to submit. So everything is good to go. We've reviewed our application. We know all the forms are correct. We're ready to submit the application. And we'll get this notification saying that we've successfully submitted. From here, you should also receive an email from Amplifund, and then any further communication will go towards that email that you use to create your account. So after every applicant has completed the applicant information, we're going to move in to apply for specific project areas based on our technology type. The instructions on the announcement here will help to guide you through there. There are also some instructions in the application in case you end up on the wrong opportunity for your technology type to have another place to check and get you navigated to the right place. So if your project is end-to-end fiber, so entirely fiber, you're going to apply to the priority opportunity. You can click the heading right here. And this will take you directly to that opportunity. And I'm actually just going to do this in another tab. So we still have this here. So now the priority application, you're going to fill out once per project area. So there will be a field to enter the project area ID number, which can be obtained from the OSIT map. Again, we have some opportunity details here, give you some high-level information about everything, link to OSIT's website, and once again, contact email if you run into any problems. So you should already have an account by this point because you've already completed pre-qual and applicant information. So you will just, if you are not seeing your account up here, you'll log in here. Once you're logged in, you can click apply and start new application if you need to start a new one. If you're already working on something, you can go ahead and click in here. You'll likely be applying for multiple project areas, so you may see a number of applications here. When you're ready to start a new one, this is how you would do it. But we're going to go into our pre-filled application here. So we've also pre-filled the priority opportunity so we can walk through a complete submission. So we'll just move through this quickly. From here, every opportunity that we go over, you will be entering an award requested. So you want to enter the amount that you're requesting for the project area that you're applying for specifically. So that will go in this box here. Please try to use a descriptive name for the project area that you're covering. Oftentimes people will use a primary county that the project is in, or something else that can help designate the area that the project's in. This is just for accessing the application and referring to the application. The actual RPA ID will be the regional project area ID will be the official method of associating this project with its area. Similar to the other applications, we're broken out into forms here. One thing I'd like to remind you all, with any application you're working on, I definitely advise saving very frequently throughout the application. Amplifund will eventually time out for your security and log you out of the application. If you do not save before then, you'll have to start that section over. Part of the reason we've broken this up into forms is to help make sure that saving happens so that you don't end up in that situation, but the more that you can save, the better. So let's move into the beginning of priority here. We have just an excerpt here to remind you that this is for an end-to-end fiber project. There are a couple other situations for technology type here where you use one of the other opportunities. So, make sure to read through this and just be sure that you are in the right opportunity. If you have happened to navigate to the wrong opportunity, you can use these links directly to go to the correct opportunity. Just as a reminder, a fiber project has to be end-to-end fiber. A hybrid fiber coaxial project will actually fall into the other qualifying reliable broadband service category. So you'll be using that opportunity to apply for those types of projects. We'll get to that one shortly. This is just priority right now. So we'll come back to that, but these are the same instructions you'll see in the other opportunities. And again, we have another place to enter your project name. And then we can just move through all this. This is very similar to applicant information. This is where you'll use your regional project area ID to select the area that you are applying for. And just as before, we're just going to save and continue, move quickly through all of this. So we'll take a shortcut here and go to the application forms. We can see these are all the forms that have to be completed. And once again, we have that additional information curing confidential file upload. So this is the very last form that we would reach. Again, we can leave this entirely blank the first time. If we have confidential information, we can put that there. Or we can just say, no, this is not a part of a curing request. So we finally get to the end of the application. Same exact deal as applicant information. We're just going to submit. And we'll get our successful submission notification there. So if you're applying for fiber, end-to-end fiber, you're now complete with your application process. You have completed the pre-qualification application, the applicant information opportunity, and your BEAD priority fiber application. You'll fill this out once per project area, submit it, and then you've reached the end of the application process. Now, if you fall into a category of other qualifying reliable broadband service, so this is cable, modem, hybrid fiber, coaxial, DSL, terrestrial fixed wireless, or a hybrid of one of these systems, you will fall into the reliable broadband service category. So to go there, again, we're just going to click on the link. Now things are going to get a bit repetitive here. This is a similar application. Some of the questions are different. So this one we've not pre-populated. We're just going to move through it very quickly and highlight any major differences. So again, you'll be entering the award requested for the project area that you're applying for. You can just skip right through here. And here's that reminder once more to make sure that we're in the right area for our technology type. If we're not, we can just click on the link to the correct opportunity. So again, we move through all of our forms till we get to this last form about additional information, save and continue, and submit. Very similar to the other process here. Right now, we're going to get some warnings here because we haven't actually entered any information to the application. So this is just telling us to go back and do so. So that covers our other qualifying reliable broadband service. The next case scenario is that you have alternative technology. So once again, you're still going to fill out pre-qual, you're still going to fill out your applicant information, but then you're going to come down here and move into unlicensed fixed wireless. I'm going to close down some of these. All right, this is also a very similar application to priority with some changes to the questions. So just coming back to the first page here, we can have a look at that. And then we'll move through the forms. So we have 9 forms in this opportunity. Till we get to the end, we have that same additional information and curing page. Now, finally, the last type of technology where you will go to a different opportunity is low Earth orbit satellite. So if you are doing a project that has LEO satellite, you're going to use this link. This application does operate somewhat different from the other applications. You will still fill out your applicant information opportunity, and you will still have done your pre-qual. But when we get to this application, it's going to look a little different. The main difference here is your low Earth orbit satellite application will cover multiple project areas at once. So if you have a large number of project areas to apply for, you can group those all together into this one application, and you'll be able to upload a proposal for all of those areas together and apply it all at once. So this beginning part here looks the same. We've actually pre-populated this one so that we can show you that this one's a little bit different and work all the way through submission. So this is going to be the biggest difference. Your award amount requested in the other opportunities is going to be just for the project area that you're applying for. For this opportunity, you're going to enter the award amount for all of the project areas that you're combining into this one application. This is a shorter application as well, so we only have one form in here. And again, we still have those instructions at the top to bring you back to another opportunity if you arrive here by accident. And then we still have our confidential file instructions here. So we have a slightly different application. It's a lot shorter. And we move through here until we get down to this list of RPA IDs. So because you're applying for multiple regional project areas, you'll be able to create an Excel document where you list out all of those RPA IDs that apply for this project. And then you'll be able to upload that right here. You'll also be able to write out a PDF or Word document proposal. You can upload that here as well. If there is additional information about your technology type that you would like to share that there's not a field in the application to cover, you may upload that here to E4.3. And because this is a shorter application, we've pulled in all the confidential file, additional information, and curing information into the same application. So once again, if you have confidential information, you can upload it here. Just please reference back in the question that is asking for the information that it's been uploaded to confidential information. We're still going to ignore the additional information fields unless you're directed to by OSIT. These will be used to gain information down the road if we end up needing something further. You may leave on your first application the curing request question blank. It is not required, or you can enter no. If you same as your other opportunities, if you receive a notification that we need you to cure something on the application, you'll select yes here and provide the same description of the changes, and if necessary, upload the file with the changes. Then we get to the end of the application. This is exactly the same as the other opportunities. We can just go ahead and submit here, and we'll get our notification, and now we've reached the end. So that covers all the different opportunities. Just to review, should have a pre-qual application completed before we start these opportunities. The link for that is a little bit further down this page. There's a section on pre-qualification. Please read through that, and then you can follow this link to complete the process. After that, we're all going to move into the applicant information. Every organization should fill this out once and only once. And then based on your technology type, follow the instructions below and click the links to the applications that are applicable to your technology type. And that is the end of this presentation.